Hi guys, it's your girl Shauna Etienne. As always, I want to thank you for your love and support. Before I get started, I want to give a special thank you to those who have gotten on board with getting together a collective agenda that we can start to implement throughout the nation, not just here in New Jersey, but I want to thank you to those on the team from from Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, and I'm forgetting one place. Charge it to my head and not my heart, but I want to thank you guys in advance. So here's the deal. I wrote my message down today because I don't want to rant and rave. Yes, I'm still upset about the condition of our people. I'm going to continue to be upset about the condition of our people until the condition of our people change. So, with that being said, let me just take this opportunity to discuss with you what I wrote down so I can make sure I'm hitting all my points and I can slow down the pace a little bit so you can really hear me. And I also want to start by saying that we're not going to agree with everything. As black people, we do not agree with each other on everything. But for the sake of this, let's just put our disagreements aside and let's just agree on the fact that we have to do better collectively as a people in our communities. We have to do better. And we also have to agree that we have to do better with improving both our political and economic power as black people. So those are two things that you can agree on. Let's move forward with this message. If you can't, I'm sorry, but I also realize that this message is not for everybody. So let me get started. First, I want to say, until we gain political and economic power, we will always be misled, mistreated, mistaken, and misrepresented. We must know what political and economic knowledge means for our lives and our community. We are both politically and economically undeveloped and unlearned in many areas. I see this every time we allow a politician, with our permission, to come into our communities and pretend to hear our cries and our concerns for change only during election time. And when election time is over, these same people exit our community, never to return again until the next election. We have to stop this from happening in our community, and we are going to stop this from happening in our community. If they want our vote, they're going to have to not only listen to us, but implement the agendas that we're asking for. We have allowed businesses run by others to come into our community and dictate the economy of our community. I want you guys to really understand the power of economics. We cannot blame them for doing this. I don't blame them from coming into our communities, opening up businesses, and dictating the economy of our community. I don't blame them because they understand economics and the power that it has over a community. Economics controls everything in a community, from the schools to the hospitals to the housing options, the housing conditions, and most importantly, the jobs. When money leaves the community suffers greatly. And its effects show in the crime rate, the failing school systems, the lower property values, and the visual unattractiveness of a community. When we spend our money at the current time in our communities, 9 out of 10 times, we're spending it by a store owned by someone who does not look like us. That person, in turn, takes the money out of the community and brings it into their community, which negatively impacts our community. We are economically immature because we don't see the value in opening up a small store or a small business in our community. This is not about whether or not being an entrepreneur or a business owner isn't for everybody. Just listen to what I'm saying. We got to do better with that. We don't see the value in opening up a small store or a small business. It does not have to be anything big. When we look at our community and the possibility of opening up a store in our community, we see it as a risk. When the others come into our community, they see it as an opportunity. We talk about the crime and the possibility that somebody might come into our store and rob us. Despite the crime rates, despite the hostile conditions in some communities, the other still takes the risk because he or she knows the value of a dollar and the power of economics. When we fail to own businesses, we place ourselves in a position to have to rely on our oppressors for jobs and for our survival. We have to stop doing this. We are placing ourselves in a position to ask for help. We are placing ourselves in a position to ask someone to notice us and to value our lives. We have to take control over this now, not later. We cannot keep turning to others for help. When we do this, this keeps us in a submissive position and it puts us at risk of being dominated. It is time for us to have a change in our mindset. It is time for us to have a change in our attitude. And most importantly, it's time for us to adopt a new philosophy. If someone is trying to teach you, don't argue with them. And don't challenge them over things that you or the person teaching you don't have any control over. It is time for us to start re-educating ourselves. Re-education is key because we have been taught a lot of false narratives within a dominant culture. And again, I don't blame them. They did what they felt they had to do to keep us in a submissive position. It is time for us to start re-educating not only ourselves, but our children. Take some time and do your research. In this day and age, everything is at your fingertip. Utilize your fingertip to go through the internet, watch YouTube videos, visit your local library, get books out on the history. Not only our history, but I want you to also study the history of the other so that you can better understand what their thought processes are and how they operate. It is time to become students of learning. It is time to make a change in our community. You must be coachable. You must be teachable. You must be available. And above all, you have to be consistent. This process will not happen overnight. It took 400 years to make a slave and a Negro. It's going to take 400 years to undo it. Be patient. And do understand that you may not see the change in your lifetime. And that's okay. The struggle and the fight is not for you and I. The struggle and the fight that we are enduring, that we are participating in, are for the children of our future, for your children, for my children, for their children and their children's children. Understand there is nothing wrong with practicing group economics. And there is nothing wrong with choosing to band together. Do not let people tell you that this is divisive. And do not let people tell you that it's racist. Just the idea of that being racist amongst us is ludicrous. Do not argue with people. Get yourself in a position just to ask them questions. Let's control our emotions because we have to stay on target and we have to keep focused. Remember the plan always. I leave you with this. We have to learn to love ourselves. If we cannot love ourselves, we're not going to be in a position to love anybody else. So people, again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for listening. Please share this video. Let's get the word out there. And for those who are already on board, I am scheduling a conference, a teleconference day. You will be hearing from me. I will email you. I will inbox you with the information that you call in so you can listen to what the plans are for us to start moving together collectively. It's going to be work, people. I'm not going to promise you that it will be easy. It is going to be difficult. But after all, change is never easy. I wish you guys the best of luck. I thank you so much for your love and support and have a blessed night.